SSI, food stamps, housing programs, education programs, block grants. Can we do this? Yes, I did it. I was the author of the Welfare Reform Bill, which was income support. Federal program aimed at families with dependent children. I authored the bill that eliminated it. Managed the bill on the floor of the Senate and got Bill Clinton to sign it. Why? Because he was afraid if he didn't, he'd lose the election. That's what we need to do, is get the American public behind us to do things that are necessary to control costs and put responsibility back to the state where it belongs and limit the federal government's exposure to all of these programs that don't belong to the federal government in the first place. And then we have Medicare and Social Security. I support the Paul Ryan plan on Medicare. We have to get consumers back involved in the purchasing of health care. And I've been one of the few that's been detailed on Social Security. Why? Because I've been fighting for reforming Social Security since 1994, where it was a major issue in my race, and I still won in the second oldest per capita state in the country, Pennsylvania. I always say that I won in Pennsylvania, even though the last 3 weeks of the campaign was all about Social Security. What did I suggest? Remember, Social Security was 15, 20 years from going in the red, which we are, by the way, this year. And everybody thought it was fine. I said, no, it's not fine. The boomers are going to retire, and we're going to go off a deep end. We've got to do something now when we have the opportunity. We're running a surplus. We can do some changes. And I went out and said, we have to raise the retirement age. I was talking to a group of young people at LaSalle University. I said, for future generations, that we need to keep, as the retirement age goes up, which it was scheduled to in about a decade, which it now has, and we're in the middle of right now. We need to continue that. Why? Because the average person who takes Social Security in America, what year do they take it? How old are they? 62. 70% of Americans take Social Security at 62. What is that? And what happens? They live 23 years receiving Social Security benefits on average. The Social Security set up for people to live, to work, to be able to collect benefits for 23 years. The answer to that was clearly no, because they set the retirement age at 65 in 1937, and life expectancy was 61. We need to change the way we look at Social Security, the program that takes care of people who are in need of Social Security, not high-income people. We've got to change those benefits. We have to look at, again, extending the retirement age for future generations, all in order to keep revenues and expenditures the same. My final point on my last message. I will never allow for there ever to be another Social Security surplus. Why? Because it's a fraud. Social Security surpluses are simply used by the left to hide the real deficit. Because there is no money in the Social Security trust. It's just you and future generations of taxpayers promising to pay what's already been obligated. So we will have a formula that will be in place that will make sure revenues and expenditures for Social Security stay the same. Many countries have done this. There are small, gradual changes over time that make sure that Social Security will be there for future generations. It's my time on. One more. Okay. Yes, sir.
Today, Fannie Mae announced bigger losses against Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, which these government organizations are asking for $6 billion against. Then, along with the farm credit system, decided a long time ago. I don't think we keep them around anymore, but they also give us the congressmen and senators all the time. So how do you get rid of an organization like that serve its purpose when all the people who need the business get money from them, and then after they're out, they serve on their board?
I went through this back in 2005 and 2006. I was served on the banking committee, which oversees Fannie and Freddie, and we put together a bill at the encouragement of the White House to reform Fannie and Freddie, to restrict their portfolios, to get them out of this very dangerous business that they were into, which was insuring subprime loans. There was a group of us who helped pass that, passed a party line vote out of the banking committee, and it sat. And Harry Reid, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, the rest of the Senate Democrats blocked us from considering this bill. At the time, there was 24 of us in the United States Senate. We got together and wrote a letter, and we said, if we do not move this bill right now, there will be a cataclysmic event occur that will burst in the House. I'm very proud to say I was one of those 24 people that advocated for that. I had an interesting story happening to me about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I was up in Old Forge, Pennsylvania. Okay. It's outside of Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Okay, you haven't been there either. All right, so he wanted, he said, I wanted to come back and say, you were right and I was wrong. Now, it's hard when people come and lobby, whether it's Fannie and Freddie or whether it's the builders. And there's a big industry out there, but you got to do what's right, and you got to take the consequences of that. I was willing to do that in 2006. I'm willing to do it today. And we're going to stand up and fight to make sure that these agencies are eventually phased out. Not overnight, we can't do that. But eventually, we can do things to phase out these organizations and turn it over to where it belongs. So founders intent to the private markets. Okay, my one final thing. I've got a book here. By the way, I'm not on a book tour, but I'm running for president. And I have a book that I wrote back in 2005. It's called It Takes a Family. And I just thought of an idea since I did this 99 county tour. I thought I would ask an Iowa trivia question that I learned on the road. And see if anybody here can get the Iowa trivia question. I'll give you a free copy of the book and I'll sign it. All right. The town of Lamar's is known as the... That's easy. No, that's the easy part. You're not getting away with that. No, that was the easy one. What is Lamar's named after? How did the name Lamar's come to be? Nobody? Nobody knows? Oh, let's stump the crowd here. No.
But all you have to do is the workers maybe one. Okay. Yeah, you want to be garden? Yeah, I would say that.
You heard the girl. She ain't got nothing to say to you.
What, you are at home?
Maybe I am. You want to find out, old man?
Then you keep talking that shit, I want to smack the dress on it.
Sorry, Tiffany, you good. Yeah, I'll be right back.
Neanderthal to the core. I can get up when the sun doesn't into my land.
Hey, what are your drawers?
Of course. DIY or die, right? You tell us. Of what? My bountiful bush here?
No, of how happy it makes you.
Yeah. No one actually really does. It's really the greatest at dealing with people, but plants, man, I totally understand them, right? All they need is the slightest bit of love, and they yield this. Here, try it. Really good.
Okay.
Oh, but you have to give me if it tastes like bus exhaust. It's still bushwick.
That's funny.
you doing to my big sister?
So, what was that I saw with you in your
After being bored. But it's like I go through emotions and I can't wait for it to be over. And then when I'm with a girl, it's not like I'm not sure.
Yeah, I got you.
You gonna get mad like my mom?
You know, could I? Who you want to see yourself with, maybe that's your business.
Let's see what you feel.
I understand what it's like for people to see you differently than you see yourself. For most of my life, I've been a bad, youngest child, being honest person.
Like those fake ass errands you try to get my mother.
I had my moment. Yeah.
Oh, wait, you guys aren't leaving, right? We're about to go on a bike ride.
Tonight. Flying the car service.
Yeah. Come on, you wanna come with us? What? Yeah, no, come. It's gonna be a lot of